Hi, welcome to another edition of Chess Match. It's Cody Alexander with MatchQuarters.com. Today we're talking about the Chicago Bears defense versus the Kansas City Chiefs offense. Now, offensively, Kansas City was the number 3 DVOA offense in the NFL last year. Now, obviously, they had a fantastic year, finished as Super Bowl champs, pretty much, for the most part, looked like they were unstoppable at the end of the year. The Chicago Bears, on the other hand, they were the number 8 DVOA on defense in the NFL with pretty good talent up front, obviously with Khalil Mack. And then I really liked Kwiatkowski. Want to make sure I get that right. And then they had a couple pieces in the secondary that really kind of fit together. One thing that stood out to me in their matchup with Kansas City was the use of Tampa 2. Now, we don't normally see Tampa 2 as much as we used to, and ironically, it was the Chicago Bears, along with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, that gave us the Tampa 2 and kind of made it really popular in the early 2000s, especially with Brian Urlacher. So it's one of those things that, time is a flat circle. I say this, if you've ever read my book Hybrids, it's the beginning quote in my book Hybrids when I talk about the schemes with football and just in general, things that lose favor, come back into favor, and they always use it. So Tampa 2 is one of those that you see all the time that ends up coming back. And the nice thing about Tampa 2, especially at this level, you have such great athletes in the secondary that you can really kind of give different looks and then move post-snap. So give static looks pre-snap and then move everything post-snap. So one of the things that you're going to see in a couple of these clips is they're going to give the illusion that they're in single coverage, and then they're going to pop out into that Tampa 2. Now, a couple things just so we get started. The corners in Tampa 2 are going to really have the flat. Now, they're most likely not going to get any further than the sticks. You're going to have a pole runner. Now, when you hear me say pole runner, that means somebody's literally going to run down the middle of the field, and it's usually one of the inside linebackers. Now, the way Chicago creates their defense is anytime that they get 12 personnel sets, they are going to be in a 3-4, and anytime that they're in 11 or 10 personnel sets, they're going to be in a 4-2-5, which with this nickel right here. But your 2 inside linebackers are going to be here, and then obviously you're going to have your outside linebackers in your 3-4 become your DNs, and then your interior guys kind of stay the same. You just kind of either you take out the nose or you take out one of the DNs. So that's kind of how they structure their defense. So if you actually look at it, you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 DBs. You have 2 inside linebackers. You actually have really a 2, 4, 5 if you want to get real particular with it, and then you have your 4 down linemen right here. So this is kind of early in the game. Kansas City comes with a condensed set. This is what I call a condensed set. Now, this is one of the things that you're going to see the offense do here is you're going to have a hard corner down here, and you're going to have a soft corner up to the field. So usually what's going to end up happening is to the tight end or somebody that they don't really feel like is going to attack the flat, they're going to play hard down here. What that does, especially versus the Chiefs, is that's going to get the hands on Tyreek Hill. They're pretty much their go-to guy for big plays. Over here, you're going to have him kind of fan out into the sticks. He's going to pop out into the deep half, and then obviously you're going to have somebody come over here with this. Now, the Kwiatkowski linebacker, who's now with the Raiders, he's going to pop out through the pole, and then what you end up getting is kind of that seam, that vertical seam right there. So they are just kind of sitting in the curl. He's the one that's going to close the post. So when you're looking at a Tampa 2, you actually kind of have to think of it more as a cover 3, because right now what you end up having is you have a deep half, and a deep middle third player. So really, if you divide the field into thirds, you have a third, and a third. What ends up happening is your flat defenders, instead of being inside, are actually outside. So your corner sit in the flat, and then you end up having your 2 seam droppers right there. So if you look at it structurally, you have 3 over 4, and that's how it looks structurally. So, it's interesting how, if you look at it, if you just draw X's on the board and then you draw X's where everybody ends up, you would end up having almost what looks like a cover 3. You'd have an X here, and then an X here, and then you would have your 1, 2, 3, 4 players on the bottom. So again, you get your 3 high shell and your 4 underneath players defending the flats and the 2 seams. Now, what's different about Tampa is that, one, you're defending the outs. You're making sure you're hard on the flats in here. What's not available is the high post or the high hole, but you are susceptible to low holes. So what ends up happening here is exactly that. This is kind of a play on mesh or middle, high, low. So instead of running a dig that you would normally see in the air raid shallow, sometimes you're going to get this where they end up shooting and then sitting, and then you get that crossing action. So what you end up, you get that pulling action, and you kind of get the same kind of pull across it, but it's a middle stretch is really what this is, because someone's going high over here as well, and then obviously you get the out over here. So you can actually see there's 3 different levels to this route like you normally see. Now with here, you're gonna get the middle hole open. So what we're looking at here, as soon as he sees him sit here, he's going to sit down, and that kind of opens that up. And so you can see where the Tampa 2 is a little bit vulnerable. Now, what the Tampa 2 was designed for was teams were getting killed in the middle of the post, because these guys are kind of told to, hey, you're going to get in the middle. You're going to get in the middle of 1 and 2, and that leaves a huge void in the middle. So how do you figure that out? Well, you go send your Mike linebacker, who's really athletic, into the middle of the field, and that ends up closing it off right there. So again, you can see Kwiatkowski at the very beginning of the snap, boom, he's opening up, and he's just going to look. Now, because nobody's coming, he's going to end up settling. Now, he ends up settling at about, I'd say around 15 yards, and that's about right. He's going to end up settling about 15 yards. He's looking for anything. You've got your flat defended, your seam right here. So if the quarterback wanted to throw this, you have your curl defender. If he were to come out here, you have the flat defender. If he were to keep going vertical, you would have a deep half player and a pole runner to tape on top of that. Now, if he were to shoot up, you have your deep, and then he would fall off and help this seam player on this route that's coming over here. So again, you're rallying to the running back over here, and that's kind of why he sits out here, and he's going to rally to that running back. So that's kind of the structure of the Tampa 2. But again, one of the weaknesses, especially against a 4-down team like this, because you don't have anybody popping into the low hole with the pole runner, is that you're going to be susceptible to the middle of the field being open, and that's exactly where the Kansas City Chiefs end up tacking them. So you got, again, going through this, just so as we go through this, think of Tampa 2 almost as like a cover 3 with 2 hard corners. Instead of 3 cloud where you're rolling to one side and adjusting. No, and you've got this guy cutting the flat. No, your middle third player is going to come from the middle. Your safety is going to be in the middle of the field, and he's going to pop out. So again, you've got one low guy, you've got one high guy. They're trying to make it look like cover 1, and then at the end of at the post snap, they're going to shoot to their deep half. So again, giving different presentations within the Tampa 2 look. So that's kind of the beginning of this kind of chess match that you're going to see with the Kansas City Chiefs versus the Chicago Bears running their Tampa 2 variations. So here we go on first down. So here's Tampa 2 versus a kind of a, what you see is an empty check. So you get empty, he comes back inside. So what you have here, and this is interesting. So this is actually 12 personnel. So if you look at this, you have 3 down linemen and you have 2 outside linebackers. So here's your 3 down linemen. You have an outside linebacker here and an outside linebacker here, and you have your 2 inside linebackers. So just so we're clear on personnel. Your 2 tight ends are right here. So again, the NFL really plays what I call matchup football. So they're trying to match up their personnel on defense with the personnel on the offense. Now, what they do here in empty, this is what you would call an ID check. So the moment that they do this and they bring in, so this is actually a spread formation with heavy personnel. So your 2 tight ends. So when you go empty like this, and San Francisco does the same thing. They'll get in 21 personnel with their fullback and tight end, and they will motion guys around to ID the coverage. So right here, now they kind of know, okay, we're in zone because 99, he ain't going, that's a big old dude. He ain't going out there guarding that running back 1-to-1. So they know they're in zone. He motions back inside. Now we've got a quads look. Quads means I've got 4 guys to one side. Okay, and what you're going to see, just like we saw on the clip prior to this, is that you're going to see a pop out. Now, what they're trying to do here is kind of give the illusion of different coverages, right? You don't know what this guy's going to do. He's in an open stance. He most likely is going to bail, right? Okay, so maybe we've got cover 3 right here, or what we are going to have is, because he's here, we're going to have kind of that that roll 3 look. He's going to get the middle third, and then he's here. So what you're trying to do with this quarterback at the beginning is you're trying to make it look like something different. So right now they don't know. Okay, is it cover 3? Okay, are we sitting down here? Is it single high? Okay, now we're in quarters. Okay, we motion to quads. Now it looks like cover 3, and then boom, at the snap. Now this safety that's in the middle of the field, he's going this way, and then he's going to pop back to that deep third. The interesting thing, I mean, again, in the NFL, you've got such great athletes, so these safeties play so deep. But now, 1st and 10, we motion to quads. You've got 12 personnel. You got your 3-4 package on, and now you're going to see a Tampa 2 look. Okay, the corner down here is going to get a reroute. All right. And the corner up top is what we would call a trap technique. He's actually going to hammer down into the flat area. Now, if nothing comes to him, or he sits flat, because again, this is 1st down, what they're doing is they're trying to bait that little hitch right there, and he's just going to come hammer down on that. If he doesn't, and he goes vertical, that's when you're going to get a reroute, and you're going to get support up here over the top with that safety. So this is a trap technique, whereas this is more of a squat technique down here. What squat means is that he's going to bang and reroute, and then he's just going to kind of settle at 10, kind of squatting in his zone. You're still going to get that deep half over here, and you're still going to get your pole runner. Now, the pole runner in this one actually comes away from the trip, so you're going to see this linebacker run the pole. So let's let that run through. So you can see right here, he's actually getting hit what you would call cheat steps. Now, I did a clinic earlier on my YouTube channel. The cover 3 teams, primarily in college, are using what I call cheat steps in the middle of the field. And this guy will just cheat. And what he's doing is he's looking in here. So if it ends up being a run, he's going to plant, and he's going to hammer down in the box almost as like a cap player. Now, what they do here, and I've got an even better example on when we look at some run fits, is you're going to see that middle linebacker cheat. So at the snap of the ball, he's going to pop. Now he sees that he's not a run, so he lingers just to check. It's not a run. The moment he IDs that it's not a run, now he's looking to the 3 side. So remember, he's in charge of the number 3 receiver. Number 3 receiver is probably going to come inside, so he right now is running the pole. He's got deep half. You can see here where there's a reroute, and then you can see him funneling that guy inside to where his help is. His help is here at the pole, and then here on the deep half. So let's let that run through. Now, interesting thing here about this corner is as he goes through here, he knows I'm funneling this guy. Here's the curl dropper right here. Okay, you've got your middle hole player. You've got your high hole player. You've got your flat defender. As this guy pushes out to the flat, you're going to see what we call a sail technique. Now, sail technique means you're just going to open up. Okay, right now, he sees the flat, so he knows I've got a curl player here. He knows that I need to open up, so just like you would in a sail, notice how he kind of backpedals toward the sideline to gain leverage on this, and then again, if he were to run a corner, he would be right there. So this is interesting stuff right here. And you can see this is great technique right here. Sail out, great run by the pole runner, going to the middle of the field, ends up picking up this post route. This is exactly how Tampa 2 was designed. Up top, you have the trap corner coming. He's going to get a huge reroute up here and pretty much eliminate the route. Okay, nice job. Eliminates the route, and then he sinks with it. Now, this is what we would call a hinge. Notice how he hinges, and then he's following it. There's really nowhere for the quarterback to go. So as he's looking at it, he's looking here. He sees the pole. Okay, this is closed down. He's looking over here at the receiver to the weak side, the single receiver. He sees, oh, man, he just got banged right here, and now that's over. And so you see Mahomes step up and just kind of run. Now, it's not a sack, but this is a great example of this. So what I like about this in this instance, because it is a 3-man rush, what you end up getting is a high hole player and a low hole player. So in your drop 8 Tampa, that's the difference. Remember at the very beginning of the clip, if this guy wasn't here and he was rushing, then this area would be open. Now, there's not a receiver attacking it. You've got a guy attacking the flat, and then you have the running back over here attacking the flat, which that outside backer will be able to clean up and kind of push with that as you get the reroute from the top. So going back to the beginning, You've got a trap corner who's going to hammer down. You've got a squat corner that's going to play a little bit of bump and run and then sail out at 10. You've got your pole runner coming from here, and then they're trying to give the illusion that I'm down, I'm back. This is 3 rotation or strong rotation, and then at the very end we're gonna pop out of there and make it look. So I'll let that run through real quick. But this is textbook Tampa versus 3-by-1 and a nice coverage to get that sack or tackle. Now, again, we go back to the beginning clip when we got that condensed set. So you've got to remember what we got at the beginning. So we've got 12 personnel. Now, the Bears early in the game came out with their 4 down against this. But you can see here in the red zone, they're going to match this up. Now, this is probably pretty good because now they're under center, so you're thinking run action right now. You've got your 3 down linemen, your 2 outside linebackers. Now, one thing that they were getting killed with were these out routes and these little hitches, and this guy's really got an option route. He's looking at the leverage. If the guy shoots outside, then he's going to bend in. If the guy sits, he's going to bend out. And they were getting beat by this early in the game. Kind of Chiefs use this here. So you can kind of see how this corner right here, as he's trapping, again, you've got your squat corner and your trap corner. You've got this guy hammering down, expecting to see some kind of an out. He doesn't get it, so he's going to have to hinge back. So let's let that run through. So you have your play action. So what you have right here is really just kind of split zone. Okay, you have your split zone action. You've got everybody coming this way. He's going to wall the edge, and then he's coming for support, right? So you're getting your slide protection with two off the edge over here. Now, if you look at pass-wise, this is really a 2-man route. This is what we call an ISO route, okay? And to me, what it looks like is either this guy's not on the same page or this is a 1-man route to Tyreek Hill, that they were trying to get these guys in. And if you look at it right now at the top, okay, let's go to pre-snap. It looks like we're going to be down. He's down. He's going to kind of choke out here, and then he's going to be in the middle. What I would assume is that they were trying to get in this little pocket right there, trying to get these guys to kind of hammer down on that run read. But the Bears kind of had expected what was going to happen on 2nd and 5, and they pop out into our Tampa 2. Now you can see 44 is going to be our pole runner. Okay, so he pops out. Now you've got your pole, and where does he settle? He's going to settle on the goal line. So what you end up having is you have a safety here on the inside. You have a corner here outside, especially in case he leaks out. If he were to leak out, he would hammer down on it. Now, nothing comes this side, so what they end up doing is doubling Hill right here and right here. Now, if Hill were to, let's say, break inside, you've got the middle hole solved right here with Kwiatkowski right there in the middle, running the pole and settling in the middle. So this is good stuff by the Bears. There's nowhere for Mahomes to go. So where does he end up going? He goes to the leak out by the tight end and kind of just throws the ball away. It's 3rd and 5. Live to play another down. All right, let's go to our 4th clip here. So now we've got 21 personnel. First off, it's funny watching the Kansas City Chiefs being 21 personnel, but what you can do here as a offense is that you can kind of manipulate what you're going to get, and then you can use your 2 speedy guys and maybe get some ISO coverage. So what I like about this is at pre-snap, you're going to get this 3 rotation. So you're going to get the strong rotation. This guy looks like he's got his foot in the ground. You don't know if he's going to pop out or he's going to hammer down right on top of that tight end. He's deep. So again, you have your trap corner and you've got your squat corner. So we're gonna bang him, and then he's going to actually be the trap corner. So we've got our squat corner and our trap corner. We've got our pop out, and then we've got our pop out here. Now we're gonna get the pole runner coming here. So we're still gonna get our Tampa 2. What I like about this, and the reason why I put this in here, was I want to see the run fits on this. So you can see this is 1st and 10. It's 21 personnel. You've got the pole running linebacker. He opens up, and what's the first thing that he does? He's going to pop his feet. He's going to get his cheat steps. Pop, pop, pop. He's looking right at the quarterback. Now, he's going to be looking for that run action. Okay, if there's run action, he's going to hang. So the moment that he sees it's run, now he's going to fit back in there. The other thing about Tampa 2 and doing it like this is that you still have your low hole player who can really hammer down on the run. You have your pole runner here. Now, out of a 3-4 and out of this set, for instance, you can still get, when they run ISO, let's say they run some ISO routes, like let's say, for instance, it's kind of the major ISO route that you see right here. Okay, you get the deep cross with the deep post. Even in this, if you're going to run Tampa 2, this guy's going to meet him over here. This corner's going to meet him over here. You still have your deep safeties that can play on that post, but that over route that everybody's trying to get to, you're going to have a pole runner here. You're going to have a corner meeting it on the other side, and you're going to have 3 guys deep enough that someone is going to end up picking this up, and this corner can actually sink and help this safety over here and get the double here. So if anybody leaks out, these 2 outside linebackers can kind of play either peel, or you can have this guy mirror the running back and kind of come out. So I like this out of a 3-4. What you end up seeing now is really these run fits. And so this outside linebacker to the edge, you can actually see him fold in across, and then what it does is it keeps, because it's that 5-man front, that bare front, you're going to keep this guy clean. He's going to end up fitting off of it, end up making the play. So that's kind of how does Tampa 2 work against the run? Because I know that's kind of what everybody always asks. And one of the reasons why a lot of people got out of the Tampa 2, especially out of the 4 down, was because this guy's just running to nowhere. And then you kind of have smallish guys in here. But this is a good look at how you can run Tampa 2 out of a 3-4 and still match up with this 21 personnel and really be viable against the pass. So this is a good look at this. I also look at the corner stance right here. He's got that long stance, and he's just going to hammer down right here. Okay. Once he sees that it's there, now he's going to set the edge and vice that thing down. So it's a good look at Tampa 2 out of a 21 personnel set, out of a 3-4, defending the run out of it, getting that run action by that Mike linebacker, pop, work back in. Now he's going to fit the run. And in fact, he would have been a free player. Okay, let's look at play number 5. Now, play number 5, we're gonna get the same kind of a 21 personnel. Okay, so we're still gonna get the same thing, right? We've got our 5-man front at the top, but because the tight end's over here, and this is how 3-4s work. Is primarily in the NFL. What I've noticed is if I have a tight end, and a lot of guys do this, if I've got a tight end, I'm attached. Okay, if I don't have a tight end, I have 2 receivers, I'm going to kind of just hold this little seam area right here, and then these guys are going to play. These guys are going to play some sort of cover 2 or quarters right there. Now, what they're trying to do here, and you can look at it, maybe he's going to come off the edge. He's kind of down, so I don't know, is he in man? He's high, so we're assuming he's in the middle of the field. Now, what you get is with these guys on the same level, nobody can really tell. Now, I would still assume, and I'm sure they are, that this is some sort of quarters. Okay, it's 1st and 10, so maybe they're playing quarters and they're just playing it real tight. But you can see him hammer down and trap. Again, here's your squat corner, your deep half, and your pop out right there. So let's take a look at this play. So as we're running through it, this is a nice job by the pole runner. So you can see the pole runner right here. He's looking, once he clears the run, he's looking right here. So he sees him going vertical. Now we've got it. This allows him to turn to the number 1 receiver. Okay, and play midpoint. Because that's one of the little nuances that you might miss. Why doesn't he turn in? Instead, he turns out. Why would he turn out and not turn in? Well, remember, in Tampa 2, you're really running a cover 3. So he's here, he's in the middle, he's deep half. He has to get to the midpoint of 1 and 2. So here's 1 and 2. He's got to get to that midpoint. Well, if I'm going to work to that midpoint, I'm going to have to open up to number 1. Now, what helps him out is that he knows that I've got a pole runner right here. So I can actually be aggressive to that middle of the field, because if he were to bend inside, I've got help here. Now, the other thing about this is because it's a nub tight end, you also have a safety on the other side with that corner really sitting hard in the flat. So you kind of have that protection even with him. And it's a nice little change up to run Tampa 2 right here. So you see the pole linebacker running with the receiver, and this is a great job because that's Tyreek Hill. So you can see him running with him. Now, what I like about this is that safety. This is a perfect center field turn. He's going to open up here. Okay, he sees that corner is going to kind of work with it, and he's going to peek back and see if that guy needs help, especially with the shoulders downfield for that quarterback. They double Tyreek. In fact, they got 3 guys over here. And again, this is just another great play in how you play midpoint. And just the difference between the NFL and other levels is watch this guy. He's center field. He zones back over top of Tyreek Hill. He's got his eyes on Patrick Mahomes. Mahomes is going to throw here because, again, this guy's going to fall off. If this guy were to keep coming across, this guy would actually fall off. He's going to zone over this leak out right here. So you actually get your levels right here. Here's your high, here's your medium, and then here's your low. So just so you know. So this guy's turned here. As the ball is thrown, he sees it. He's going to now center field turn back around and get on top and cut this guy off. I mean, that to me is a great play. Now, he is afforded the ability to do that because as he's turning back over here, he knows that this guy's going to be over here and that you have an underneath. So even if he were to go, you have a high and you have a low underneath of him. So this is a great play by the Chicago Bears defense, basically eliminating this route. Great job by that safety, and that is some good technique right there. Okay, here comes to our final clip number 6. Just want to look at it. Watch the corner stance on the value. This is later in the game, and his stance almost gets so to the point where, man, it looks really aggressive. Now, what they're trying to do here is to give 6 rotations. So 6 rotation means weak. Now, this is 3rd down, 3rd and 7. Okay, so they're trying to make it look like maybe he's going to sink down and then he's going to take the running back. You've got him in an aggressive stance. Okay, so he may be in man where it's single high. Everybody looks like they're man coverage. This guy, even though he's here, he's probably just going to bang and then fall in. Okay, so let's take a look at how this plays out. So pre-snap, we're low. We're giving a single high. Now we're going to pop out. So again, here is your trap corner. Here is your squat corner. And they play different techniques. So he's going to trap down on top of on the receiver. He's gonna at least attempt to reroute, make him run the hump. So as he pops back out, he's gonna now sail back out. So as we get him to run that hump, he'll now sail back out, knowing that he's on top over there. 57 is going to be your pole runner. So he actually opens up and he will now sink watching those guys in the middle. So as we get the reroute here by the overhang. Okay, you get the nickel overhang. He's going to reroute, and then he's got the pole. Now, this isn't necessarily total Tampa 2. This is more of a trap 2 where he's going to trap down, and then he's kind of just opening up and kind of bang and carry. But we're going to get that. He's going to sink to the middle with his eyes on 3. We're going to get a reroute, and he's going to work out. And what you end up getting is you've got your high hole, you've got your seam, you've got your trap who's falling back and sailing out. Now that he enters in here, this is where you're going to get him to sink back down. And now this guy is capping that guy. So again, this is a nice example of it on 3rd down, how they can run kind of a trap 2 out of this. Now this is just kind of a rush 8 with a guy kind of falling back inside. What I did think was interesting in this, and this is just something to point out, it has nothing to do with the coverage, but they did put Khalil Mack right here, and they basically said sprint through the middle and get that penetration, and that's exactly what he does. Bull rushes, gets that penetration. There's nothing open deep because of the 2 deep safeties and the way that this coverage had overlapped. They've got 2 kind of these, I wouldn't call these comebacks. These are kind of inverted corners right here. There's nowhere for it to go. The middle's covered up by 57. He would have been there on the other side had he come out because there's your other seam player. And then they rally to the flat. It's incomplete, and the Chiefs are forced to punt. So thanks for joining me on another episode of MQ Chess Match. Hope you enjoyed it. Again, make sure to subscribe to the YouTube channel. I got more content like this. Always follow me on matchquarters.com for the latest in defensive content. If you're interested in social media, make sure you follow me on Twitter at @the_coach_A. Thank you.